Well, welcome everybody to Snow Church for Wednesday, March 1st. I'm in a downer mood. Got my Blackhawks hat on, Blackhawks jersey on. I'm doing this in honor of the 16 great seasons that Patrick Kane gave the Chicago Blackhawks. And now he's off to New York City to play for the boys on Broadway. And I'm sure that he'll have a good time playing for the Rangers. They're in contention. But it's a sad day. He and Taves were two guys I was hoping would make it all the way through their careers with the Blackhawks. And I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that Taves is able to. But he's, I don't know, kind of similar situation to Patrick Kane. I understand it. He was held all the cards. He had a do not trade clause in there, and he could have held out, become a free agent, and basically the Hawks would have gotten nothing for him. So they did what they had to do, but sure would have been nice to see the Blackhawks get more than a bucket of used pucks for a player like that. So I digress. Here we are. March 1st, and it's snowing in northwest Wisconsin. Yes, this image coming to you courtesy of Wheelers. Not really quite sure what Wheelers is, but they've got a great camera set up, and it's snowing there. Actually, I think I do know what they are. We'll back out here. RV park, and they're in Wayscott, Wisconsin, and we just lost everything. Maybe I can go forward here. Never mind. Maybe we'll get back to that in a minute. 24-hour snowfall. The parts of the Dakota is getting it pretty good. Of course, look at the California Sierras again. I wonder if they're going to have to start calling out the National Guard in some of these areas here to help move the snow, because it is past insane. I don't even know what ludicrous is. That the next step beyond insane? Another 2-3 feet in most of the Sierras on top of the 2 feet they got before. The day before, on top of the foot they got. It's just crazy. But here's the decent snows in the Dakotas. This snow has now moved eastward and is setting up shop across northern Minnesota, northwest Wisconsin. That webcam I showed you is right about there. And starting to snow here in beautiful downtown scenic Jacobsville as well. Very lightly right now, just a few light flakes. But at any rate, we are going to see some snows fall across the Northwoods today. And let's check it out here. European model says not a whole lot. The system will be petering out as it works to the east. So I'm just going to go a little bit further, but yeah, I don't want to spoil the show with that. So let's stop it right there. General 1 to 3 inches of snow or so. I'm kind of staring at this as, is this a, no, it's a 0Z. Oh well. Yeah, this just doesn't look right. I don't know why, but this is the snowfall outlay in around the next 36 hours or so. Although the snows with this current system will pretty much be over in the next 24 hours across the Northwoods. Here's the GFS's idea, and I guess this one makes a little bit more sense to me. This is by tomorrow morning, and yeah, I don't know I don't know what the heck was going on with that European. It was almost like, I don't know. Maybe it's still early for me. It's only 10 o'clock this morning. So, but I'm going to jump back to the European, and then we'll pick up this storm that comes up through the Chicago area and puts down some pretty decent snows according to the European. About 8. You know what? This is yesterday's. That's what this is, I think. Because I remember that 8.4. All right, let's do this. No, it's the same. Weird. All right. Well, I guess you could say the European is very similar to yesterday's model. 8.4 in Chicago, 6.3 in Grand Rapids. Actually, I think that's a different number. I think Grand Rapids yesterday had about 9 or 10. But up towards Alpena, Houghton Lake, all going to get some pretty decent snows out of this. And for you boys that like to run the ditches in Iowa and western Illinois, you might get enough to do that as well. It's going to be a very wet snow. Temperatures right around the freezing mark when it comes down. So this is going to be a wet and heavy stuff, not light and fluffy. And then we'll just run things out. There's a couple of systems. Well, there's one system that works its way across Sunday into Monday in the Dakotas and northern Midwest. And we'll see that come through right about here. Brings a little bit of snow. And then there's another one that just sort of gets stuck in Nebraska and South Dakota for Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's the snowfall outlay for the next 10 days for, well, the entire United States. And look again, I don't know why I'm beating the Sierras, but man, if you wanna see snows, just go to YouTube or Google and Google Sierra snows or Mammoth Mountain snows or Tahoe snows, or it's the amount of snow they have. It's just nuts. It's just nuts. All right, so now here we are at the European or the GFS, and it is different. It's still like yesterday, not putting as much snow down, and is a little further, I guess, east and south with the snows. My official forecast on the website is a compromise of the GFS and the European, with a little bit more emphasis towards the European. It's just been a little bit more consistent. I believe it was the first model that indicated these snows to even occur. And it's just been very consistent in its outlay, whereas this model, the GFS, has been struggling a little bit. But last 2 days, it's been quite consistent. So I'm definitely giving it some credence. For you folks that live down in here and want to see some hefty snows, I hope that the European comes true for you and not this, because this wouldn't be very impressive at all. Detroit would get it pretty good. But did you know that Detroit was named the most depressing town in all of North America? Go figure. I didn't do that. I didn't say that. So here we go through early part of next week, and those snows up across the northern Midwest, just freshen things up a little bit. And then ending it here at about Tuesday, or no, the end of next week. Not a whole lot going on, and then we'll just run it all the way out, and we can see that there's just, different systems. You get into la la land once you get out beyond about this point, but you can see how it stays cold enough. In fact, yesterday I was talking about how temperatures across the Midwest were not going to do anything overly dramatic. They were going to run average to a little bit above average, which sort of puts this time of the year, puts the freeze line up around the Northwoods. Maybe not solidly in it, but up around it. And that's really going to be the case for the next week or so. But then we can see here, actually this is the weekend. Monday, then Tuesday, and then right there, Tuesday night, we start to see a big high, a 1056 high, building in across northern Canada. And that is just going to play a dominant role in our weather second half of next week and through the following weekend, and keep temperatures running average to below, with the, most below average temperatures, very well said by me, the further west you go. Basically, that just says that by, through the middle of March 15th or so, it doesn't appear as though any major meltdowns are going to occur, at least based on the computer guidance that we have as of this point. And with a little bit of fresh snow from time to time across the Northwoods, looks like they will stay in business for snow recreation, winter recreation, through the middle of March. I know that this is the time of the year where a lot of people just sort of give up on snowmobiling, but for those of you that don't, there's good news. Looks like you should be able to have the next 2 to maybe 3 weekends to be able to plan to recreate up here anywhere in the Northwoods, and have fairly decent conditions. The only thing that I'm going to mention again, like I did yesterday, is the sun angle is getting pretty strong. I know that, in fact, Nora even commented, yesterday morning I was plowing my way through snow because the plow hadn't been down our roads yet. And so she was driving through several inches of snow. And then this morning she had bare pavement. That's because the plow came through and then the sun hit those roads and cleared them right up. So that's how powerful the sun is this time of the year. It hits those roadways and can clear them up. Doesn't do that on the trails though. So in good shape that way. Well, I got to get over to the build site. So I'm going to sign off for today. Kaner, loved having you in Chicago. You were a blast to watch. And have a good time in New York, buddy. Take care, everybody. Keep those sticks on the ice, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.